Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 2021 New Moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. And if you hear any snoring in the background, that is my dog Esme, so don't mind her. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Sagittarius be affected by the December 2021 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At the bottom, we have Justice, which is Libra energy. If we have Libra within our natal chart, or even if we have Libras within our lives, this part of our personality, if it's within our natal chart, is going to come out as a root form of us during this time. It's something that we just can't ignore within our personality. If we have Libras in our life, they're going to affect us at a core, at a root level during this time. We might not know it. We might not be aware of it, that their words are having such an impact on us, and they will definitely not know. So just be aware of that. Then we have the world. So we have Justice and we have the world opening up to us. Now, this is a time that is very powerful for us because this new moon is not only the first and only full solar eclipse of 2021, but it is also a new moon and the last new moon of 2021 in Sagittarius. It's the last new moon period, and it is in Sagittarius. And so it is in our sign. This is an intense, a powerful new moon. And so it is going to hit us more than it hits other signs. It is going to be more intense for us, more powerful for us, more for us than it is for others. So being aware of this and also being just to ourselves during this time is going to be infinitely important. It moves us to our inner self. We have the Three of Wands. Again, we're starting to see the world open. We're starting to see a new way forward. It then brings us to the Five of Swords. This is a battle that we have faced in the past that we are going to have to face again. And this makes perfect sense with everything that's going to be happening to us astrologically speaking. So to be aware of that is going to be a huge thing. We have the Knight of Wands. This new moon, of course, in Sagittarius is in fire energy. We are represented by the wands in the minor arcana, by temperance in the major arcana. So we're coming through here as warriors of the heart. This is a time where we start to connect with our heart, with what we want, with what we desire for ourselves more and more. We're also going to have a very strong link to the past with the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups comes in, it links us to the past, the good things of the past, but also the negative things of the past. So be mindful of this. And this could be a reason why we've kind of put our dreams on hold. So really starting to look at our dreams again, starting to look at the things that have held us back, which is going to be brought up by the Five of Swords. So being really mindful of this, being really mindful of the intensity of the energy of this time. It moves us to our inner self, which is the Four of Swords. We need to rest. We need to also honor everything that we have been through and our story. We can think of our story as something that doesn't need to be honored. We honor other people's stories, but our own, it's kind of like, oh, just get on with it. Just keep on moving forward. Just keep on getting the job done. And what Spirit is going to say here is like, no, honor your story. Honor who it is that you are and honor everything that you have been through. And it leads us to the Wheel of Fortune. It leads us to this beautiful change. It can also lead us to feeling like life is like a roller coaster ride. You know, we have the highs, the lows, the lefts, the rights on this time, and until the full moon, which I believe is on the 18th or the 19th of December. I really don't remember right now. So here it comes in, and we can feel like this is just a time of powerful and intense change until the next full moon, until the full moon of December. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. It's the moon, which makes perfect sense. Again, this moon rules us. This moon is powerful. It is intense. It brings forward our subconscious self and our conscious self, which doesn't always work in tandem during our lives during this time. Most definitely, it has us looking at things in a very different way, in a very intense way. This is going to be a time where our fears are brought forward, which again makes perfect sense astrologically, which we'll get into in just a moment. This is also Pisces energy. So we can just have fear coming forward, and fear isn't bad. We tend to think, oh, if I'm afraid, that's a bad thing. Like, I shouldn't be afraid. I should just keep on moving forward. But fear helps us stay alive. It's something that our ancestors developed to keep them, alive, to keep them safe. And so here we're going to need to listen to our fear, but also not let our fear rule us, to see where that fear stems from within our own history. Does it stem from our past in this life? Does it stem from a past in a past life? Does it stem from our parents, our caregivers, whoever raised us, or teachers or lovers, whoever helped to forge us? Did they hand us a fear that now we're having to deal with, that we're having to look at? And this moon has us looking at it in such a way where either it can cripple us, or it can be a realization, an awakening that pushes us forward in such a power, in such a determination that nothing and no one can ever, it almost feels like nothing can ever hold us back again. So that's really quite powerful. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have peace. We have the crown chakra and we have peace. So here we're being crowned in peace. We're embracing the peace of our hearts, the peace of what we develop within ourselves, the peace of what we want. And our minds have to be centered in this peace. If we come from a place of peace, a place of calm, a place of compassion, we will find that this time is powerful and we are almost unstoppable. If we find it harder to hold on to this peace, if chaos starts coming in, if chaos starts rattling us, we need to center ourselves on this peace again, connecting with our dreams, connecting with what our soul wants, connecting with what we deeply desire in our lives. And it's going to be peace. However we manifest peace, however we want to manifest peace within our existence and within ourselves, that's going to be a way that we need to move forward during this time. So let's look at the astrological aspects of this new moon. On the 4th of December, we have the new moon in Sagittarius. It is the first and again, the only solar eclipse of the year. So of 2021, we're ending it with really a great, powerful energy. Now, here we have luck is on our side when we have the new moon in Sagittarius, because we're taking aim. And this is a time when a solar eclipse amplifies the power of the new moon, because the moon darkens the sun. The most important aspect in astrology is the sun conjunct the moon, the sun across from the moon. And this gives us a burst of energy and a burst of initiative, intuition, desire, a sense of what I need, what I want, and how I'm moving forward. So we're really seeing ourselves pull back that arrow, pull back that string, take aim, know what it is that we desire during this time, because it brings us emotional balance, which helps us see what we want to move forward in, how we want to move forward. And on this new moon, again, amplified by the solar eclipse, it has us seeing the path that we want to move forward in much more clearly, which is excellent, again, for the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. What we also have to remember here is that we start 2022, and 2022 is an angel number. 222 is an angel number. It is the number of new beginnings. And so here, as we're focusing on what it is that we want, as we're seeing things more clearly, we're entering into a time of new beginnings. And it is a time where we can see in ourselves that we're ready for this. We can see it as the world opens to us. We can see it in the Three of Wands. We stand before the horizon of ourselves. We can even see as we're moving away from the hurts and pains of the past within our hearts. And the Wheel of Fortune shows the change that fate brings, shows us entering into a new chapter in our lives as we honor our past, as we honor what has gone into us to make this story, to make ourselves. Now, close to the new moon is the South Lunar Node going into retrograde in Scorpio for the first time in 18 years. Now, this is the time it takes for the lunar nodes to go through the zodiac. So the South Lunar Node is the place of memories. It is a place where the energy that drains us lives, and it is also the place of our karmic destiny, making the Five of Swords just so apparent during this time that we have the Five of Swords here because we're facing something from our past. We're facing our karmic destiny. We're facing our energy dreams. We're facing our memories. Now, the South Lunar Node is known as the tail of the dragon, while the North Lunar Node is known as the head. The tail of the dragon sweeps the karmic debris in our lives. So it sweeps it up instead of it being what we're tripping over. It's kind of hitting us now. It's something that we need to see. It's something that we become much more aware of, and it has us looking at the karmic theme in our lives and what has been holding us back and what we really need to address. So again, the Five of Swords makes a lot of sense. As it comes into Scorpio, we feel the power of Pluto, okay? Because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto connects us with the soul. So this is going to be a time where our soul comes forward because of the South Lunar Node being in Scorpio, going into retrograde in Scorpio. We are going to have our souls come forward. Here is the reincarnation of our souls and the beginning of an alignment with our energy to what our lives need and what we need to expel, what we no longer need to carry with us, and what has been dragging us down. Now, we also have the new moon conjunct Mercury. Now, this puts thinking, communication, short distance travel, and focus. It has us focusing on all of this. We are alert, we are quick thinking, we are adaptable, we are curious. We are also very good at buying and selling, at negotiations, at being social and connecting. So this is going to be a time that we are really quite powerful, and we're moving forward in that power. Now we have the new moon sextile Uranus, which isn't going to be as benevolent as the new moon conjunct Mercury, because the new moon sextile Uranus brings nervousness, it brings tension, it brings anxiety. And we feel like some big change is on the horizon. Some big change, some big drama, something that we're going to have to deal with that kind of knocks us off course or that has us facing things that, again, we just don't want to face. And that's because we're going to have something come forward, manifesting itself in one way or another within our lives that makes us face something that we have thought I don't need to face this. I don't need to look at it. And now we're looking at it head on. We can find it hard to relax because of this. There's going to be a buildup of energy that makes us anxious and feel off our game. So if we kind of calm ourselves, if we connect with that peace, if we have the subconscious and the conscious coming together, we see where we're pulled into very separate and distinct directions. We're going to start to be able to calm down the nervous energy of the new moon sextile Uranus. Now we also have the new moon sextile Saturn, which is going to be a grounding influence for us and reduce the anxiety of Uranus, which is absolutely fantastic. This alignment gives us caution, it gives us patience, it gives us perseverance, and it strongly links us to responsibility. What we need from our lives, a strong sense of responsibility comes forward, and we start to really see our goals and what we need to get the job done. But we also need to remember to be kind to ourselves if we make mistakes, because Saturn can be a little bit unforgiving. It can very much be the energy of you will do this and you will do it right the first time. So we might not have a lot of compassion for ourselves and even for others. So just being aware of this is going to be very important. We have Saturn squared Uranus, which can bring a change that we don't want and a setback from that change. Yet if we keep our minds open and we are patient with ourselves and the people around us and flexible in our mind and in the way that we want things to move forward and in the way that we perceive things, this will be a time when change turns into opportunity and rids our life of negativity. This will be a time of a powerful purge and a powerful alignment. Now we also have the eclipse aspect pattern. Now this is called the large learning triangle. That represents the crisis that is going to manifest itself in our lives and the result of profound learning that comes from us dealing with that crisis and developing from that crisis. This triangle consists of the conflict, which is Saturn squared Uranus. We see the conflict, we see what we need to do. We also see what we don't want and the setback that comes in. We're very much aware of that. Then we have the striving for the solution, which is represented by the new moon quincus Uranus, which has us, looking at things with tension and anxiety. We're not going to be really calm about the striving for the solution. We're going to be rather nervous about it. But if we, again, look at the drama, look at the change that's on the horizon, knowing that we can't stop it, that we have to accept it as it comes forward, that's going to be very powerful for us because it's going to lead to the harmonizing aspect of this time, of this learning triangle, which is the new moon sextile Saturn, which has us grounded, which has us responsible and cautious and patient and really able to see the way that we need to learn, what we need to learn to be able to move forward. And a lot of it is going to come from our past. A lot of it is going to come from the construction of the story of our lives. Within this time, we also have the star alignment. So we have the fixed star Alwade, which is in the constellation of Draco. Remember that Draco means dragon. So that connects us again with the South Lunar Node. And the South Lunar Node, known as the tail of the dragon, comes forward. Now, Alwade is known by ancient astrologers as the nimbulous eye of the dragon, meaning that it doesn't see well. Okay, it's not going to be the clear eye of the dragon. It's the hazy eye of the dragon. In Arabic, it means who's to be betrayed. Now, the star alignment is with the power of Mars and of Saturn, making it bold, making it cruel, making it heartless, making it criminal, making it violent. So these are not things that we really want to amplify within our lives or even have within our lives at all. Maybe bold is okay, but everything else, the cruelty, the heartlessness, the criminality, the violence, aren't things that we want. So just being aware of that is going to be so important. So what we need to be mindful of is that, again, it's the hazy eye of the dragon. We're not going to see things clearly. We have to step back. We're going to want to act instantaneously on things. We're going to want to act without all the knowledge, without all the information. And what Spirit is saying here is step back and step into yourself. Step into your knowledge, step into your wisdom, connect with peace, connect with meditation, connect with what we really need here, which is a centering of ourselves, which helps us move past or helps us undo the haziness of our vision that Alwade brings, which has us aligned more with negativity and evil. Then we also have the fixed star Antares. Now, Antares is the star at the heart of Scorpio. So if we're born on the on the cusp with Scorpio. What we're going to see here, Sagittarius, is that Scorpio has a very strong influence during this time and really does power us in a very certain way. So here, with Antares being the heart of Scorpio, it is also known by the ancient Greeks as the anti-Eris, or the rival to Mars, because of its coloring. It's a red-green color in the sky, and you could confuse it with Mars. So this is a time where you can confuse an anti-Mars, Aries with the real Aries, with the real god of war, Mars, the god of war, coming forward. So we need to just be mindful of this. We need to be aware of this, because again, it goes into Alwade, which has us not seeing things clearly, and then it goes into the thing where we can feel as if we have all the information, we have everything that we need, but it's by a false general, it's by a false leader. So we have to step back, because Antares is of the nature of Mars and of Jupiter, which makes us commanding, prideful, malevolent, destructive, broad-minded, rash, and headstrong, and again, destructive. All right, so we want to really amplify the destructiveness here of the power of this star. So being broad-minded and being headstrong, those are good things, but they can also be really bad things, right? If we're so broad-minded, we can't make a decision. We can see everybody's point of view, and then we just feel lost within it because of our innate curiosity. That can be something that's overwhelming for us. Also, our headstrongness can just be, just boorishness, just stubbornness, where I'm going to dig my heels in, and there really isn't cause for that. So being aware of that is also going to be very important. This is a time where we need to embrace the justice for ourselves. This isn't the time where we need to be just to everybody. Yes, we should move forward always with kindness and compassion at our hearts, but we should also be able to look at what is just for me, what is right for me. What is right for one person isn't always right for the other. We all have different ways that we feel comfortable within our worlds. So this is a time where we really start to make boundaries. We really start to say, I need this in my life and I don't want that. I need to move forward this way and I don't want to move forward that way. And so we look at what we need, what we want, who we are, how we're developing much more seriously, and that really starts to broaden the world for us. That has us looking at the world and saying, where is it that I want to be? Not what is it that people expect of me, what is it that I should do so everybody likes me, or so that everybody loves me, or so that people connect with me more. What do I need within my life, and how does this move me forward? So the world opens. The world opens in a way where we start to see things and say, I get to have control over my life. Now, we don't have control over every aspect of our lives. Of course, there is an element to chaos, to simple existence, which can be frustrating. But what we're starting to see here is that our choices matter. And the energy that we let into our lives, it matters. The people that we let into our lives, what we say yes to, what we say no to, there's power within that. And so we start to take our power. This is a time where we start to see us taking aim for what we want. And we start to see us aligning with the karmic theme of our lives, the things that we have to overcome and the things that we have to move forward in. We also start to ask ourselves, what do I want? What really makes me happy? We could have an idea of happiness that we started off with as teenagers, and now that idea doesn't match us anymore, but we might still be trying to fit into it. So really broadening our minds, broadening ourselves, looking at the world and saying, I get to have a corner of the world. Now, we could want to be jet setters, we could want to travel and see everything and do everything, but we have to be open and honest with ourselves, with what we want, with what we desire, with what is right for us and what isn't. And this leads us to the Three of Wands, because as we have that honesty as our base during this time, and also as we start to be just to ourselves and to those around us, if we are the type of people, and we all know these people who, have a really easy time saying what they need, what they want, but have a really hard time looking at what the people that they love most need and want within their lives, we have to start looking at that as well. So the Three of Wands opens us up. We start to look at the new horizon. We start to look at the world, but we start to see our ships coming in and we start to see our ships going out. We start to see different ways that we get to connect with our world and ourselves. And we start to see that everything that we are doing, it isn't in vain. We're not just simply floundering within this existence. We're starting to see things moving forward for us. We're starting to see ourselves getting to the place that we want to be, even if this is just within our mind, even if this is just, an understanding of a thought or a realization of a dream, and we start to put it out there. We're going to start to see things aligning so those dreams come forward. We're going to start to see things happening. It can take quite some time, but we're going to see that it's not hopeless. And that leads us to the place where we start to really look at the Five of Swords. We look at the karmic theme of our lives. We look at the karmic trauma and drama that's being swept up, that debris that the dragon's tail is sweeping forward, that we have to address. We have to look at it. We can turn away from it, but it's just going to hit us in the back. It's just going to make this time one of endurance instead of one of an embrace of wisdom and insight and understanding and passion and desire and a sense of I'm claiming my voice and finally it gets to be mine. Because as we do this, as we start to win, as we start to see ourselves standing up for ourselves, as we start to see ourselves embracing our confidence, embracing what we desire, looking at the bigger picture of what we need, what we want, how we define ourselves and where it is that we want to be, we start to see ourselves as warriors of our heart. We start to see ourselves aligning with passion, aligning with the joys that get us out of bed in the morning, making time for what it is that we truly love instead of almost feeling like we're on autopilot, where the day is a different day, but it feels exactly the same as the last. It's that old Yiddish saying where the days are long, but the years are short. Now we're going to start to honor the days, to connect with the days, to connect with what we want, and to use that time with passion and power and insight. Even if others look at it and say, well, what did you do? They don't have to honor what we honor, but we have to honor it within us. And so we're charging forward. We have our armor on. Why? Because the world isn't kind. It just isn't. It's intense and it's overwhelming and it's powerful and it has us looking at things in such a different way. We're also starting to connect with our sacral chakra. Our sacral chakra is the chakra of creativity and inspiration and sensuality. And so we're starting to embrace that. But it's also the chakra where all our trauma is held from this life and from past lives. And we really see that coming up here with the Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups is not only the blessings that we've had in the past that we can want to replicate within our lives, but we always kind of fall short with. When you try to make something just as it was once upon a time, it never works out the same. The cookies never taste as good as they did, when grandma made them. It's never quite the same. So here we're starting to look at things and saying it will always be different, but it gets to be honorable within the memories of my heart. And then we also look at the hurts and the pains that have defined us. The parent that said we would never amount to anything. The lover that told us we were stupid and worthless. The teacher that humiliated us in front of the class. All these things that knocked us down and made us stop believing in ourselves. It doesn't take much for a human being to stop having faith in themselves. Sometimes it's one good blow. It's going after our dream job and not getting it. That can leave us gun shy for the rest of our lives. That can leave us afraid to open up the door and put ourselves out there forever. So we have to look at it and say, what am I fearing? And where does it stem from? And we might not know instantaneously. Some of us might. We might know the exact moment, the exact time where everything started to change, where things became scarier. But what we're also going to see here is that we are connecting with ourselves. We're quieting down our breathing. We're doing a bit of meditation. Even if we don't need to sit quietly, we can go for a walk. We can, just connect while we're cooking dinner or while we're cutting up vegetables. We can start to connect with our breath, with our memories, with ourselves, and see what comes forward, see what is blocking us. And it could be one little thing that we think, oh, well, it's this. It's this person who said something spiteful or cruel, 5 days ago. But then we can start thinking, and we can deal with that. We can look at that. But then we can start going deeper and be like, well, why did that hurt me so much? Where did that stem from? And follow the imagery that comes forward or the voice that comes forward. We can do this in a journal. We can do this just through thinking and connecting with our own emotions. And it leads us to the Seven of Cups. It leads us to a place of dreams, of what we desire, of passion, of a place of, being able to transform. And as we are embracing this, as we are looking at what it is that we desire from our lives and where it is that we want to be, we call forward something greater to ourselves. And that is a game changer. That is just going to be a game changer during this time. It is a time for us to start to connect with what we have always wanted. We tend to put our dreams in a closet, and hide them away. Very few people take their dreams and say, this is what I want, this is what I'm going after, and nothing and no one is going to deter me. These might not be the most not powerful, yes, but powerful or, well-connected people or talented people that we have ever seen. But because they have so much faith in themselves, they tend to part the waters. They tend to have, calmer seas than others because they're steering themselves with such determination that even when they hit a storm, it's like, nope, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to get to where I need to be. And we're starting to say, I need that. I need that confidence. I need that connection. I need to bring my dreams into the light, to take them out of the closet and to say, this is what I love. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I'm passionate about. This is how I move forward. And we look at all the different aspects of our dreams, all the different aspects of what's important to us. And it becomes a game-changing time. It brings us to the Four of Swords. We need to honor all the trauma that we have been through. This is in the public arena. We need to honor this and acknowledge this in our waking world. Not just, mildly think about it. We can mildly think about our karmic theme. We can mildly connect with standing up for ourselves, but honoring our story, honoring everything that we have been through, honoring ourselves, that's going to be something that we need to do with determination, with instinct, with power, with a sense of, I am worthy. I am worthy of being seen. I am worthy of being heard. I am worthy of having my story read, watched, however we want it to be, developed in this world, whether in a book or on the big screen. And it brings us to the Wheel of Fortune. It brings us to a place where now, when we are respecting everything that we have been through, we are recuperating from the past, where we are letting ourselves rest and connect, we start to see the Wheel of Fortune. We start to see the change coming in. We start to see ourselves embracing fate, embracing, the unknown, saying the world is changing, I am changing, and I am finding where I want to stand within this world, within myself, within this new year. And this is going to be a time where we see ourselves guided towards more than we anticipated, more than we expected, and being guided towards that power with such significance, with such, tenacity, with such fervor that it's exciting, that it's beautiful. It makes us doubt ourselves. We're finding ourselves coming to an end of a cycle, and that cycle can be terrifying. We don't necessarily always know what's going to be happening next, but we know with just this faith, with this faith in ourselves, in our own faith, in what it is that we truly want from our world and ourselves, and the way that we're starting to embrace our confidence and our assurity, that starts to become the game changer here. And it leads us to looking at what the moon has to say for herself. So let's see. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. So at our root, we have here a personal issue reaches resolution. Discernment. Through our discernment, through justice for ourselves, justice for our hearts, justice for what we desire within our lives, a personal issue reaches resolution through discernment, through being picky, through, saying, I don't need to accept every energy, everything that comes my way. I get to say no to certain things. I get to focus on what I want and the manifestation of my dreams and the opening of my world. It brings us then to our lunar inner self, which is the energy is gaining momentum, abundance. It brings us abundance as we look out onto that rainbow, as we look out onto our blessings, as the energy of facing our trials and tribulations, facing our karmic theme, our karmic debris, our karmic destiny comes forward. And it brings us to a place of abundance. It brings us to a place of power, and it leads us to our lunar inner selves, emotional selves, which says we are good enough. Not said in a condescending way, said in a way that means that as you are not a mistake. You are enough. and you will always be enough. We might go through times in our lives where we're in the wrong place, where it's not right for us, but we are resistance. We are resilient. We are still growing when others try to crush us down. And by believing full-heartedly that we are enough, to embrace the power of our dreams, to move ourselves forward in our passion, to step away from our past and stop having it define our present, we start to change the gift of our lives. It moves us then to the public arena, and it brings us to the full moon eclipse, which is, the eclipse energy is of this time, and it says here conclusions are within reach. This is going to be a time where we start to see an end. We start to see a reason, and it brings us to self-love. It brings us to beauty. It brings us to a sense of I love me. Not arrogance, but a sense of I love who I am. I'm not a mistake. I am powerful. It leads us to our subconscious message, which is your commitment is being tested. Acceptance. Accepting that our commitment is being tested, accepting that things will not always go our way, accepting our setbacks, accepting our flaws, and being able to move forward towards what it is that we really desire. It moves us to our subconscious in our energy to be mindful of, and it's the Lord. This is Aries energy, but this is the energy of absolute authority. This is the energy of you will do as I say. And so we embrace the fact that we don't want to be told what to do. We want to discover. We want to see how to lead ourselves forward. And so we're going to be balking against that energy of you will do this because I said so. It leads us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is dreams. This is the third eye chakra. The third eye is opening up. It's going to speak to us very powerfully through our dreams. And as we connect, we start to see and to understand more and more as we start to also connect with what we have always dreamt of the way that spirit brings us our soul's purpose through our dreams, through our imagination, through what we have longed for. It brings us then to our subconscious rooted energy, which is the sun. We have the happiest card in the whole entire deck here at our root. It is shining with brilliance. It is happiness. It is success. It is power. It is prosperity. And as we embrace this, we embrace what we want from our lives. We embrace who we are. We let ourselves walk forward in radiance. Now, will people take us by eyes? Absolutely. They will say, why are you blessed and I'm not? People have low energy vibrations. The world beats us down. That's what it does. And it tries to take away our blessings. This is a time where we will not let others take away our joy, take away our happiness, take away our blessings, take away who it is that we are and what we've worked so hard to achieve and to have within our lives. Don't give your radiance away. Don't. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and it's the Two of Pentacles. We're trying to balance our eternal prosperity, right? Everything that is prosperous about our world, everything that we need without balancing ourselves. And that is going about it backwards. We need to balance ourselves first and then take on the responsibilities. Now, yes, that usually isn't the case with things. We can't usually sit there and say, okay, I need a day to detox. I need a day to release, everything that I have built up inside of me. And then I'll go back to my responsibilities. Responsibilities need to be seen to, bills need to be paid. Kids need to be fed. Things need to happen. And we can't just, clock out. But this is a time where we start to say to ourselves, I need my feet firmly planted on the ground. I cannot spread myself so thin that I forget about me. So self-care, taking care of ourselves, connecting with ourselves, that's truly important. It leads us to our subconscious emotional self, and it's the Tower. It's God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, throwing us out of our comfort zone and saying it is a time of profound and intense change. Emotionally, we feel this. Emotionally, we know this. We could be going through a Tower time. We could have gone through a Tower time a decade ago, 15 years ago. It doesn't matter when this Tower time was. It matters that it still reverberates through our lives and emotions still run high around it. We need to embrace a sense of I move forward in my power. I may not know exactly where I'm headed or why this had to happen, but I move forward in the faith of my angels, the faith of my spirit guides, but also in the faith of myself, the faith of I'm worth so much that I'm not going to just fall away. And it moves us to our subconscious public arena self. It's the hermit, it's Virgo energy. It's that connection, it's that meditation, it's that wisdom that guides us forward. It's that sense of I'm connecting with me and the walls that have been blocking me, the things that have been keeping me from seeing what I need to see because of the trauma that I have been through, because of the intensity of it all. Now those walls are falling down. Now those barriers are crumbling. And I'm starting to see the path unfold before me of where I need to walk, but also of what are my blessings? Why am I here? What is it that I desire? And where is it that I want to be? I start to connect with me in such a profound and beautiful way that it takes my breath away, and it will take the breath away of those watching us. All right, Sagittarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. This is going to be an astoundingly intense time. Be ready for it, because it will shake us, it will rock us, it will change us. And it will transform us into that person if we keep our hearts open, if we keep our minds flexible, if we realize our worth. It will transform us into that person that we've been longing to be and have us walk into this year of new beginnings, open to powerful and brilliant change, open to the powerful and brilliant abundance of our hearts. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this new moon solar eclipse. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius, and may you have a blessed moon.